Welcome back to Crypto Zones, peer-to-peer financial empowerment. Hashtag love all, serve others. How to speak Bitcoin, episode 1. I find myself out in my office today. Found a good spot to just talk about technology. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and frame it with the traditional financial system being the backdrop. And it's important to do it that way fundamentally because it's widely understood and believed that Bitcoin, after all, was invented and launched on the internet on January 3rd, 2009 as a response to a corrupt financial system, a corrupt traditional financial banking system. So having said that, what I will do is I will describe some of the fundamental technology of what Bitcoin is, one of the inherent values that it has that I think is the most valuable. And then I will mention throughout the brief conversation here things like gold and traditional banking financial systems. But with Bitcoin, it is the first financial technology that has been able to separate state and currency. It's the first technology that's been able to separate military might and riches. It does so without a shot fired. So it's a peaceful technology. It came live to the world, as I alluded to a little bit earlier, January 3rd, 2009. And what gives it its life is blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is a software protocol, and it's an internet protocol which resides on the internet, which gives Bitcoin its life on the internet. Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin. A lot of people think he invented blockchain technology, but that came before him. The simplest way I found to explain it is that what email is to the internet is what Bitcoin is to blockchain technology. Email was the first application that resided on the internet. Bitcoin is the first application that resides on blockchain technology. In my mind, the most important and valuable dynamic of what is inherent with Bitcoin is that it employs a triple ledgering accounting system. With every transaction, there's a record for you, a record for me, and there's a forever ledger that resides on the internet, which gives anybody at all the opportunity to see that transaction. It's open source, it's permissionless, it's borderless, it's trustless. You don't have to trust the person even. I know that may sound a little bit unusual to grasp, but it's an important dynamic about what is an integral part of what Bitcoin represents. It is nowhere low fee. It's inflation resistant. It has what's called a programmatic design. It technically has a mathematical design of its inflation, or it's the level and rate at which Bitcoins are produced out into the market. I meant to look before I did the video here, but I think at present there are about 18.5 million Bitcoins that have ever been produced. There has been, according to some accounts, many accounts, between 4 to 6 million that have been lost, and those were Bitcoins that were lost in the early days when when they weren't worth much, or when they were worth less than a penny, or didn't even have commercial value. But today, as we sit, Bitcoin is at about 9,500 per Bitcoin. But the rate at which they're produced, at any moment, at any day, at any minute, at any hour, we can say how many Bitcoins exist because it's been already programmed into the design of the protocol. The last Bitcoin will come live to the world in about 120 years, somewhere around the year 2140. And the reason why this is so important is because it stands completely converse, like light and dark, to the existing traditional financial system, which employs money printing and a manipulation of the interest rate. The entire globe operates on a traditional, fractional reserve banking system, which largely, like 99% of their powers, are employed by the ability to manipulate both the currency supply and the interest rate at which they're loaned out. The traditional financial system has a debt-based economy, when what that means is the primary way that economic activity is launched into the system is by creating dollars, by creating debt. which is sold off into the markets all over the world, but that lends from the future and taxes the people of today. The primary power players of tomorrow are the internet players of today. I'll say it in one word: millennials. Just realistically speaking, as the old people die off, there's no other way to say this, but as those die and the new come in, they will be using internet technology for money. There's no other way. I mean, we're seeing that happen. Even last week, hundreds of millions flowed from institutional investing into Bitcoin and or cryptos or technologies related to blockchain, trading money on the internet. So I would like to explain it's saying that there's three phases that are going on. One, there's the traditional financial system that is merging into a blockchain-based technology by using CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, they're digitizing their old currencies onto the internet. And then there's cryptocurrency system. So there's traditional financial system emerging into a blockchain financial system, which is closed. And then there's also a cryptocurrency system. The Bitcoin technology has no CEO, has no brick and mortar, and the controls of it are open to the free market. Whereas conversely, the traditional financial system is, the controls of it are sometimes, well, in America, there's like 12 or 15 guys that get together every 60 days or every month, or sometimes even on a Sunday. On a Sunday, which happened recently, and depending on how they feel that day, they decide the monetary policy for 335 million people. But with a triple ledgering system, there's a record of the transaction for you, one for me, and a forever ledger on the internet, which anybody can see. So there's an inherent accountability, which just, I mean, if you can wrap your head around that, you will be able to speak Bitcoin to a large degree, because that is, in my mind, the most valuable reason, or the most valuable dynamic, which is inherent to Bitcoin that gives it its value. It completely disintermediates the old way of doing things. And so those are just some of the things. I mean, I know that gold has been a store of value and has been used for money for 5,000 years, but Bitcoin has only been used for 11 years. But it is very, very clear that what is taking place right now is that money is going onto the internet. First, the power players will be using blockchain technology and implementing CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies. But at the same time, people and institutions will be using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to power play. The triple ledger accounting system lends to less corruption, which just equates to more power to the people. Whereas the old school, it's a dual ledger system, which just lends itself to a lot of corruption. And enough said about that, but those are just some of the basic fundamental dynamics. I will be going into more specifically the dynamics of the distributed ledger technology, also known as the triple ledger accounting system, in my next video, my next episode on how to speak Bitcoin. If you like some of the things you've heard, please like and subscribe, and click that notifier bell so that you can be notified of these videos as soon as they launch on the internet. Appreciate that. Hashtag love all, serve others. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. I wish you health. And until next time, peace.